rat men are taking over the world. What's going on? This is no good. But apparently it is really good because people now find men who look like rodents incredibly hot. We're here today on this new episode of Monday Madness to ask the question, what makes celebrities, what makes people hot? Is ratness a factor in this? All the usual craziness. Extremely enticing fun and games as well. I've done a little Mr. Burns excellent tans there. But we welcome you today back for another madness. Hello everyone, welcome back to Monday Madness with Morgan and the Machine. That was definitely my weakest intro to the madness yet, I think. I didn't quite know where I was going with that one.
It's
I am.
Okay. Yes.
I am, but really I think I should just stick to kind of 3 and not try and go too overboard with them and make it silly. Like, it didn't even make sense, did it? Anyway, hello,
Well, let us know in the
everyone.
comments what you thought of Morgan's madness intro.
A great point. If you are, of course, watching on the It's a Wonderful Podcast YouTube channel this episode of Monday Madness today. Let us know in the comments. If you're not, go on the social medias. It's scrolling down at the bottom of the screen, but then you would be watching. And I'm all over the place. There's links as well. If you are, of course, wherever you're listening, subscribe there as well. But yes, go to social medias. Tell us what you think. Are my intros far too long-winded? Yes, they are, Jeannine, because I've still not asked any sort of question. We're here today to talk mainly about why people find rats attractive. Is Rizzo the rat attractive now? Ask Gonzo. I guess maybe he thinks Rizzo the rat's attractive. That's why they're always, paired up in little situations.
Maybe.
Who knows? Are they a couple? Who's the better Muppet couple? Kermit and Miss Piggy, or Gonzo and Rizzo?
Let us know in the comments.
Exactly. There's another question. Jeannine, I will ask the question now. So, Jeannine.
Well, in preparation of today's discussion, I did watch Challengers. I hadn't watched it yet.
Full of rat men.
Yeah, so the two leads in this film kind of, I think, are the main ones who started this trend, just because they have very bold, angular faces and features. They kind of have larger ears. So people have kind of, called their features related to like, an animated rat man type thing. So I wanted to see these men in action because what I'm going to bring to this discussion is, part of the attitude and the swagger is what kind of adds to the attractiveness of these men. So I wanted to see it in action because I hadn't really seen these men in any other things. But I did enjoy the film. I think, people were really, I think it was very much one of those situations like a Jennifer's Body, or a Cruel Intentions, where they throw this very sexual scene in the trailer, so people kind of go for that and think that that is the main focus. But I'm happy to say that the film obviously had more substance than that. They use tennis really interestingly as this metaphor for relationships. It's kind of how these characters communicate through their passion for tennis and how they talk about, they always have these discussions, and like one person always kind of asks, can we not talk about tennis? And then like the other person has this very similar response of, well, then what else would we talk about, kind of thing. So
I find this very interesting. I find this incredibly interesting. I haven't seen Challengers. I actively kind of want to see Challengers, but have fallen off going out to the cinema that much, unfortunately, that I just never got in the routine of going, so never went. But it's a movie I definitely do want to watch. This makes it, I suppose, me even more intrigued to learn that it's actually about tennis.
Yes.
I wouldn't know it's actually about tennis from just various social medias. Would you? You think it's just all about maybe you play the odd match of tennis, but really that's what fuels the passion of the lustful romance. and it's maybe not quite that lusty of a movie, even though I've
I
seen
mean,
people compare it to, and in rather joking fashion, and I quite liked this, the calling it the bisexual tennis movie, but then mistakenly talking about strangers on a train instead,
oh,
rather than
okay.
challengers, because Strangers on a Train is rather a bisexual tennis movie.
Yes, I mean, it has about as much sexual stuff in it as his other film, Call Me by Your Name, kind of thing. So it's
Yeah,
in
okay.
there, but the dialogue and the conversation and the actions of the character drive it more than the sexual things. That is
I
just
seem to
another
happen
added
to
thing
remember
to the competition
that.
between these two men, basically. So,
Yes. I seem to remember Call Me by Your Name has one scene that everybody focused on and then really didn't, you know, talk
yeah.
about the rest of the very good movie. That Call
Yeah.
Me by Your Name is very effective, very
Yeah.
tragic, sad,
Yeah.
nasty, really. Well, not nasty, I suppose. Nasty is the wrong word, but
Well,
rather
just heartbreaking.
heartbreaking movie
Yes. Yes.
that Call Me by Your Name is. But no, I think you're right. I think Challenges is a good, probably the key reason, one of the key reasons as to why this Rat Man discussion
Yeah.
comes about. Um, Maybe because that trailer was just pushed down everyone's throat a few months
Yeah.
ago,
I mean, interesting
and
choice of words. But
sure, but let's we're gonna take it there today. We're gonna
yeah,
have to take it
so
there today. We're
needless
talking
to
about
say, I
a lot
enjoyed the
of
film.
attractive people.
Yes, I enjoyed the film, and I will talk more about the swagger these men were giving off in the main section. But yes, I enjoyed the
Okay.
movie. I also just want to highlight a movie I haven't seen, but I hope to see. Actress Jennifer Esposito, she made a
Mhm.
film. She directed, she stars in it, she wrote it, and she really put a lot of work into getting this movie made. She's kind of on the streets promoting it, doing everything she can. And so it's called Fresh Kills. Came out the weekend of June 14th. Um, and it's only in select cities, so I'm hoping if more people see it, they will add it to more cities because it's not playing near me, so I can't see it, which is driving me nuts. Um, but I'm seeing more cities are added all the time. It's got really good reviews. It has a great Rotten Tomato score. So I just wanted to kind of shout out that movie and tell people to go see it if they have the opportunity or just share it and highlight it because, she's
Very
a woman
nice.
filmmaker who really put a lot of work into getting this made. You might know her best from The Boys. She's also in one of my favorite horror movies, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Um, but yeah,
Very
just
specific choice
very
there.
specific, yes. Yes, as a horror girly, I pinpoint character actors and all kinds of things.
Yes.
So, yeah, so I just wanted to shout out her work, her movie that she's put a lot of work into. I believe it's 80s set, kind of crime drama film, with a lot of
Okay.
female characters leading the performances. So yeah, I'm hoping I will get to see it soon, and I hope more people go to see it if it's playing near them. So
Yeah, and this movie's called again. What's it called again?
Fresh Kills.
Fresh Kills. There you go.
Yes.
Okay, well that is actually a lovely segue into what I've done this week. Speaking of great women filmmakers, I've watched another nice Dorothy Arzner movie
Oh,
this week, Dance Girl Dance from 1940, which was a reasonably recent Criterion purchase for me, and was a really good movie, actually. I think I brought up the fact I watched an Arzner movie maybe on the first episode of season 2 of Monday Madness. I'd
okay.
watched one, an earlier one, Honor Among Lovers with Claudette Colbert. And while I enjoyed that movie, I don't think it quite kind of latched onto me. Dance Girl Dance definitely latched onto me.
Yeah.
Um, Lucille Ball is a complete scene stealer in this movie. It's one of these Broadway behind the scenes kind of musical slash melodramas,
Okay.
um, but done in this very, very bold way, really heavily commenting on gender roles and stereotyping and things like that, and being very daring to be outspoken
Oh,
and about kind of look it up, because it's a performative movie. It's a movie about
okay.
burlesque, really.
Oh.
So it's all these leering men coming to watch,
Yeah, the ladies.
namely Lucille Ball, do this burlesque act, while Maureen O'Hara plays her stooge in this act, who comes on, does really great ballet, but nobody wants to see that. It's almost a comedy act
Oh,
within the
okay.
performance.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of people, Ralph Bellamy's one of them, who really take a shine to specifically Maureen O'Hara, and it's this kind of triumph of genuine classiness and somebody who has enough almost resilience to push through the boos that they're getting all the time, to
Okay.
right at the end of the movie just shout it all back in their faces
Oh, nice. I
and
love
say,
that.
yeah, you pay, $2 to come and watch. Yeah, what's she called? Lily White, I think, to strip off and do all this nice burlesque act for you. Well, you don't pay attention, and it's all very that
Yeah.
kind of
Stand up for herself kind of
outspokenness
moment. Yeah.
at
No,
the
I like
end.
that.
But what really, really wonderful movie, really, really got me. Lewis Hayward's in it as well. But as far as
Dorothy
Dorothy
Osmond.
Asner movies go, and I've seen a reasonable handful of them now, it might be the best I've seen
Oh,
from her.
okay. What year is it
I
from?
think that's like 1940.
Okay.
1940, that. Yeah, Maureen O'Hara, Lucille Ball, if you want like earlier Lucille Ball, a bit younger
Okay.
Lucille Ball as well.
Okay.
Very good movie. Very good movie.
Nice. Because I know there's a
Uh,
dance movie that she's in with a bunch of like other big name actresses. So I was thinking of that one, but I don't think it's the same one.
no, no, there's no. It's a smallish cast,
Oh,
really.
okay. Okay.
Apart from that, I've just been getting very excited. I mean, obviously, it was Bridgerton week, so I've been getting very excited for
Oh, I'm
for
happy.
that. It's also House of the Dragon week.
Oh, yes. I need to do a refresher because this feels like it was so long ago that the show premiered.
It kind of was though, right? It was a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
But oh, am I excited for that? And obviously, by the time this goes out, we'll have seen the first episode
Yeah.
of season 2 of House of the Dragon. Oh, it's very exciting. It is very
Yes.
exciting. But yes, that's. I've just been getting excited and watching
Yes.
that
No, a lot of great
Dorothy Asner
things
movie.
coming back. Yeah. Mhm.
It's great. It's great. If there's anything else, is there anything else we want to talk about in today's What's Up?
I think that's it.
Right, it's Ratman time. Come on, we're in.
Rat
Let's
Man.
talk. Discussion is here. Ratman time. Willard's back. Willard and Ben. Let's sing the song, Jeannine. Shall we
Oh,
sing
man.
Michael Jackson's Ben, which
Oh
is
my
very
gosh.
appropriate for this Ratman conversation?
Yeah. So I want to say it's The Guardian who started this with this
The
kind of
Guardian.
article conversation that they put out, which was titled, it's like in their past notes kind of section. The hot rodent boyfriend, why Gen Z has gone wild for sexy rat guys. So basically,
Right.
just talking about guys with the very unconventional features. The two stars of Challengers, which I never remember their names. I think what Josh O'Connor. Um,
Mike faced Feist, however you
yes,
say his last name.
Timothy Chalamet's in there. Jeremy Allen
Chalamet, we
White.
know Chalamet was going to be in there
Yes,
because he looks like a triangle anyway, so he's very pointy and it does
yes,
look like a rat.
yes. Jeremy Allen White. I think Maddie
Yeah.
Healy, who was Taylor Swift's ex, in there,
God,
which
he's a
I don't know.
scumbag though, isn't he?
Yes, and he just looks dirty, so maybe that's what makes him fit in there. I don't know, he looks like he smells.
He carries plague. That's why he's in the Ratman conversation.
Yes, so guys who look like that with very I think Adam Driver's in there. So yeah, men who are
Right.
not your Brad Pitt, Hemsworth type of looking guys. Um,
Right. I
so
have a theory.
what makes these men sexy to people, and what in general makes a celebrity sexy or hot?
Well, I'm going to put our little title on the screen for those watching that I have titled "The Year of the Hot Rat."
Okay,
Instead of a
okay,
question today, I'm just calling it
okay.
"The Year of the Hot Rat." And I saw something a long time ago now
Mhm.
that has always stayed in my mind, has always played in my mind, is that every human being either looks like a rat or a frog to some degree.
Okay.
Like, you will see predominant features of either those two fairly unattractive animals within. I know you don't like frogs, Jeannine. Let's remind ourselves of the fact of the movie Frogs with Sam Elliott, just so it's
Yes.
better for your mind.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, apparently everybody looks like one of those two things, and this conversation has reminded me of that because I whether this is just men as well with this conversation, it appears to just be men. I don't see many rat-faced women going around.
I mean,
Mind you,
yeah,
if I'm
because I
talking
saw
in
somebody
the
make
rat versus frog argument, I don't see many frog-faced women
I
going around.
mean, yes, I mean, I saw somebody make a video about this, and they were talking about, like, where is this even coming from? This rat face thing kind of feels more insulting, but when it's men, they kind of try to make this sexy, cute term out of it and make this fun thing. If you were to put this type of thing on women, you would just say that they were ugly. And I was like, "Yeah,
The media
probably."
would, sure, yeah, I
Yes,
think
exactly.
absolutely.
There wouldn't be some cute spin on the cute mouse-faced girl or something like that. Like, it would be, "You're just ugly."
Well,
So
that's because these kind of popularist media outlets and what have you are very, very still stuck with a load of stereotypes and rather traditionalist beliefs when it comes to what people should and shouldn't look like,
oh,
which is
yes, I mean
unfortunate.
yes, I mean, I just what has also been going around is this ridiculous article from this lady, Zoe Stimple, Strimple, Dimple, Pimple, whatever her name is, talking about not the not really very much about Nicola's performance on Bridgerton, but Nicola Coughlan, how it's so impossible for someone like her, a fat person, to
Or a
land
fat person.
yes, to land a perfect 10 like Colin Bridgerton. It just feels like it's
Ah,
outside the realm of reality. And I saw
right.
her on the cover of a magazine on the fanciest clothes, and it still didn't take away her not hotness is the the very proper term that she used in the article. So yes, I think women definitely would not benefit from some kind of cute animal comparison article about them if this were to
Right,
be
okay, so
any
let's
other fun.
let's ignore the animal comparison for women then. Let's do that. Perfectly happy to be doing that. Um surely now this, I mean, this article you've brought up as well specifies it as something that Gen Z finds attractive. Now, why? I'm sure there's people of all ages who find Jeremy Allen White attractive to a certain degree, or Adam Driver, or the people from Challengers, or Chalamet. I think particularly Chalamet. I
Yeah.
don't think it's just necessarily a Gen Z thing. It's just
Yes.
maybe because it is the younger side of today's A-listers that, funnily enough, we were talking about a couple of weeks ago
Yes.
on Monday Madness, that perhaps more of the men look a bit like this. Who knows why?
Well,
Has this been created to be the ultimate in hotness? Is hotness totally subjective, or can there be universally agreed people where we might not directly find them attractive, but we all agree you are a good-looking person. I think
Yes,
there's a
so
handful.
yes, so I got into this someone made a video talking about Colin Farrell and how he is always doing all of these roles where he's, like, trying to hide his good looks. And so I commented on that and said, "Yeah, he's a conventionally attractive man." And I think maybe he feels like that's a bit of a hindrance and he doesn't wanna be just known for that. So he loves taking roles that are able to mask that and hide that. And somebody commented, "He's good looking?" And so I got a flood of replies to that person's comment because I think there should be a sense of, I think you can understand that society, that most people would find that person attractive, even if you personally don't find them attractive. So I think that's kind of
Yeah.
a plausible thing to think that, well, I get why people think he's attractive, but I don't think he's attractive.
I mean, I know we're very much basing this conversation on men, really, because this is what this
The
article
article is
is.
putting forth. Yes.
And I mean, obviously, I can look at somebody like Colin Farrell. I mean, we can't take this discussion and go through every single major actor in Hollywood. It
Yes.
would be
Yeah.
ridiculous. But I can look at Colin Farrell when he's in his natural state and perfectly agree with people and just yeah, he is a handsome gentleman. He's a good-looking man. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. And this
Yes.
doesn't mean you want to jump on him there and then and do unspeakable things,
Yeah.
but I think people can have that, whoever you are, ability to go,
Yeah,
"They're
I
good
can see
looking."
why. I can see why people would think that. And I think it also you see that, I mean, with the Gen Z thing. I mean, you see those videos of moms showing their daughters their crushes when they were young and rating them. And the daughters more than not are just like, ew, he's ugly. Oh, he's gross. And these are people who were like heartthrobs of the day. They're showing
Yeah.
them the best pictures of them in their heyday time. And the girls are like, "Oh, no, ugh, you liked him? He's ugly, he's weird looking." And I'm just like, "What? What are you talking about?" So, yeah, I think it's just kind of this shift in what girls find attractive. I also personally think there's a personality aspect that comes into the mix. But I do have a definition here of what generally they
Oh,
mean by this sexy rodent thing.
oh,
So, it
interesting,
says
right.
here, an unconventional, mousy man with a toothy smile, and instead of a chiseled face like a Brad Pitt or a Chris Hemsworth, it's more pointy. It's important for their faces to be angular. That's the dead giveaway. That's that and big ears. They come off as edgy and elusive.
How right. I have a few questions.
Okay.
How do big ears come across as edgy? How does
I
that work?
I don't know. I guess maybe it's just a uniqueness in the feature. It's something that
Uh,
frames the face and draws more attention to it. Because what
Janine,
is
I'll
between
tell you
those
what
big
that is.
ears? A face. I don't
I'll
know.
tell you what that is, Janine. That is whoever's written this article wanting to throw some alliteration into their prose. Ears, edgy, elusive. That's all that is. It just
Maybe,
sounds
perhaps.
good. It just
Yes.
rolls off the tongue. It doesn't actually make any sense what people are
Yes.
saying.
But I mean
Now, pointiness. Do we really want pointiness in people? Look, I can sit here and as much flack as I give Chalamet all the time, and it's only
he
in
looks like a
jest, Chalamet.
triangle. Yes.
He looks like a triangle. He's very, very pointy. Yes, okay. He belongs in the year of the hot rat. There it is again. Absolutely, he does. He's a very, very good looking man. And I think what a lot of these people have in common is what you're saying. It is this personality of almost disheveledness
Yeah.
and a certain maybe introverted, not quite overly confident, even when they are. They're not like they don't present themselves
Yes,
as it,
they're
but they
and they're
are.
yes, they're effortlessly smooth, effortlessly, very debonair in a way, but in a very casual way. They're fashionable usually. So just to kind of
But you
speak
say
to
fashionable. I mean, some people don't half wear some absurd things at certain
well, I mean,
galas and certain
I think
premieres
that
and
also
things.
is part of the attractive is just that they also kind of try different things and don't wear the basic things that you're used to people seeing. So that kind of androgyny sometimes to their fashion or this ability to
Yeah,
push things also kind of make speaks to them having this unique personality.
I
Um
get an
this
androgyny
very
side of it. I think.
yes, this fluid kind of personality that is attractive to people because I think today people like that androgyny. People like the kind of fluidity of gender and sex and uh, you know, all of that kind of thing. So,
I mean, do people? I mean, I think we forget sometimes that people liked this and were attracted to this decades ago as well. I
yeah.
agree with you. I think it perhaps is a case now, a certain androgynous quality, definitely. But are we gonna say that it wasn't a case when David Bowie was younger? Are we gonna say it
Yeah.
wasn't a case with Prince
Yeah.
and Grace Jones and people like
Yes.
this?
I mean, I find myself incredibly attracted to Emma Darcy. And they definitely are
Right?
on that line of fluidity in how they dress and how they present themselves. And I see a lot of people like all of this kind of weeks with or with the week of, the show coming back. A lot of these people kind of posting these memes of like, oh my gosh, I'm in love and all of these things, seeing them at the premiere. So
Do
I mean,
do we
it's
think it's a do we think it's a certain stern-facedness, if that makes sense? Like, I'm just picturing all these people. There's not much smiling going on, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
I I I mean, this article says a toothy grin. I don't recall
Yeah, I mean, I
this
don't
being
think
a
the
thing in
grin
these
is a
people.
huge yeah. I mean, I think with Josh O'Connor, I mean, to speak to what he was giving in Challengers, he was the more sensitive one of the 2. He was the one who was going to be there to support you and listen to you and just want you to rub his head and listen to him and cuddle with you. So he was kind of giving off this sweet. He wasn't giving this bold kind of swagger. He also wasn't giving kind of this super smiley, but he was very sweet kind of persona.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a defining trait of this whole thing, I think. The sensitivity. But again,
y
I'm thinking, is that a new thing?
well, no,
Maybe
because
it's
I mean,
just what all
I'm thinking about my unconventional celebrity crushes that I've had over the years. They all
Joshua
kind of
Jackson.
have I think most people can find Joshua Jackson somewhat attractive.
If
But
we're
I
going
mean,
back to my theory of the rat and the frog, Joshua Jackson only falls into one of those categories.
you would call him a frog, wouldn't you?
100%. He's got a round face
He's
and a
got a
round nose.
yes. But no, I mean, I remember seeing a double feature of Con Air and Face Off for the first time and left that experience having this huge crush on Nicolas Cage, who has
Which
a
is
very
insane
unconventional look.
watching those
Yes,
two, by the
but
way.
I mean, well, in Face Off, if you think about it, half the film he's playing a good guy. He's playing this good, sensitive
Sure, yeah.
and Con Air, obviously, he's this hero figure, and he's running around in a wife beater, and he's got a this decent body happening, and he's just this good
I
guy trying to do right, you know?
I'd
Um,
like to I'd like to remind everybody that you've just referred to the item of clothing called wife beater as attractive, therefore suggesting unspeakable things that we're
yes,
not going to
I'm
say.
sorry, there is new terminology for these things. I
No,
think
I'm not. I'm only
and
joking about that. I just find
I'm
it funny.
sorry, I know we've had to switch terminology from the things that we grew up calling a certain thing. So, to that sensitivity, I apologize for calling it that. It's just what I grew up
I
calling.
wasn't even speaking about that. I'm literally just calling attention to the fact I find it
Yes.
funny how you've happened to find that item of clothing
Well,
attractive,
he's
which is
running
the
around in a
most
tank top for
dirtiest,
2
horrible stuff.
hours, and it's
You're
just
one of these people who wants to write this article. We was just speaking before.
I'm
Matt
just saying.
Matt
I'm just
Healy, dirty, plague-ridden,
infect
infestation infested Matt
his
Healy looks like
I
he wears those
despite
clothes.
everything he does in that movie, his tank top does not get as dirty as John McClane's, okay? So he's still keeping it looking okay. So I don't know. The
Okay.
sensitivity of his characters in that film added to the attractiveness beyond his unconventional looks. I agree with Adam Driver having this sexy quality. He's funny and he's tall and he's
Yeah,
got a good voice and he
he's
he
got a
has
great
this
voice.
he has this appeal to him, and then you see him in something like the Star Wars films and he has this seriousness and also this sensitivity there as well. So he's
And
giving
also
off this kind of
pettiness,
vibe.
and also smashy, smashy.
Yes,
Little
all of
bit.
that. All of that, a little petulant, a little bit. Um,
Is petulance an aspect? Ooh,
no.
I've seen
No, no, no.
Chalamet in movies be petulant.
I mean, a little bit, but
A
I
little
don't
bit.
think I mean, I don't know if that is what does it, or maybe it's just that plays into the, like, I can fix him type of subconscious energy.
Oh, so it
I don't
might
know.
actually be all about
If he's
that.
if he's a little messy and rough around the edges, I can work with that kinda thing attitude that
I
maybe
you've
subconsciously
opened
creeps in. I don't know.
you've opened my eyes now, Janine. This was an angle I didn't even think about. Maybe people find rap men attractive because they are messy, not perfect, and I can fix them because
Well,
people are
because yeah.
obsessed with being right and
Well, I mean,
being their way is the only correct way, and we must mold everybody else to my way of being.
well, I mean, maybe that plays into it. I don't know, but kind of bringing up the kind of petulance that these men portray in some of their roles, maybe that could be it. Um,
Interesting.
I mean, Jeremy Allen White, I mean, he's giving body for sure. He's giving eyes for sure, and he does have this kind of swagger. And if you watch um him, he's very much plays characters who are kind of messy and all over the place, but want to do better. So that also kind of plays into how you perceive them in life as well. So, because in The Bear, that's very much kind of who he is. So we have this
But
perceived
we have to
persona and
remind
personality
ourselves.
on these people. We don't know them, but we just kind of go off of what they give and the energy. And I think that is also a really Gen Z thing to kind of vibe off of energies of people and feel vibes of people. And so I think that's what plays into this phenomena of unconventional looks being attractive.
I would wholeheartedly agree with the energy and aura, I would like to
Yeah.
call it,
Okay.
aspect.
Yeah.
Again, I don't necessarily think that is a new thing that
No, it's
people
definitely
who are
not a new
20 have
thing,
just figured out.
but I feel like it's a thing that is very much prevalent in Gen Z
Yeah,
culture.
yeah, I would agree with that. It's understandable for me. I think it's something that I focus on. I think, if we're going back to major movie stars of old Hollywood, a certain mystical energy and an aura is what makes them more attractive because you don't know all about them. That they have qualities that you will never understand
Yeah.
about them, indescribable features
Yeah.
and personalities. That kind of stuff immediately is interesting to people. So I think that kind of stuff is so quickly attractive
Yeah.
because you're just like, oh, I don't know. I don't immediately know everything about you. Interested.
Well,
Let's
yeah, I
get
mean,
in
it's
there.
that elusive thing.
I
Um,
suppose so. I suppose
yeah.
so. But the actual features themselves don't make these people elusive. They just happen to be,
Yes,
which is
it's the
fine.
it's
I
the
like
aura,
that.
like you said.
Now, if you're talking about Jeremy Allen White, does Gene Wilder fall into this conversation as a young man?
Because they look so similar. But I mean, Gene Wilder didn't have a body like that under that long
Irrelevant. I
suit.
thought, now it's becoming purely physical, is it? I
No,
see.
no, but it's just an added feature that it enhances things. I mean, did you not see those
Yes,
Calvin Klein
okay.
ads? Did you not see those Calvin Klein ads?
I did. I actually searched them out. I actually have a large poster of Jeremy Allen White on the
Over your
wall.
bed? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
on the
see? So, you
ceiling,
know.
in fact, so I can
Ah,
look
look
at
at
it
it when you lay down at
while I'm
night.
in bed. Yes, that's exactly what happens in my house. Yes, I have seen those ads, and I understand the physical appeal there. Yes, but I think he perhaps has the best physical body of these named people that you've taken from this article, possibly. I mean, the others just
I
seem a
mean,
little too thin.
lanky. Well, I mean, it was, made a to be a very big deal when we saw Adam Driver with his shirt off
I mean,
in
that's the
Star Wars.
point, yeah.
Yes, and I mean, we
He
see
had
the
the
w
high-waisted pants
yes.
to his nipple situation. That was
Yeah,
funny.
those pants were very high. But we also see a lot of the challengers guys, and they're looking very toned, but not like
Lean,
yes, they're very lean. You can see abs, you can see muscle structure. They're looking pretty good, but they're not, you know, built up
bulky.
like Jeremy. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Um, I mean, going back to the Gene Wilder argument, because I just think this is funny. Is it perhaps just because Gene Wilder constantly gave unhinged nervousness?
I mean, maybe. I mean, I think Gene Wilder was attractive because he was funny, so he's giving personality aspects that you can find
Okay.
attractive. But I still would find Jeremy Allen White more attractive because because I think Gene Wilder is not giving this elusive kind of cool energy, you know?
I
And
don't
I
think I've ever seen Jeremy Allen White smile.
no,
I don't think I have. I think I'd be uncomfortable if I did.
I have. I think I've seen it. I'm
Does
like,
he
"Have
have
I?"
teeth?
He does have teeth.
Does he just have lips that just mm,
He
mm,
smiles when he's around his girl Io, so, you
well, I
know.
see. Well, that makes sense. There's somebody who gives great energy, by the way.
Yes.
Let's take the conversation to the women just for a
You're just
little
feeling
while,
left out. You're
please.
feeling left
I,
out.
I am feeling a little bit left out. Um, Unfortunately, we don't have the equivalent. Well, I say unfortunately, we've spoke about why we don't have the equivalent
Yeah.
conversation for women, and it's because major media outlets are terrible. But my lord, somebody like Io Edebiri is so mesmerizingly. You can't take your eyes off her just because she's so
Yes.
goofy, right?
She has
She's
this
just
great energy. I think she's gorgeous. She's
she is.
really funny.
Purely
Yeah.
objectively very, very attractive, but what takes that to a hot, there's certain words you use, I think, isn't there? Like
Yeah.
someone can be good looking, someone can be attractive, someone
And
can be
then something could
hot.
be hot. Well, yeah, that came up with funny ladies when this TikToker blew up because she decided to say, "How come no woman on SNL is hot?"
I also think there is a distinct difference between being hot and being sexy.
Okay. So what are the distinguishable differences between those 2 for
I
you?
don't I don't actually think the energy is as important to make somebody hot as it is to make somebody sexy.
Okay.
And maybe that's just my lurid mind. Perhaps
Okay.
it is. Perhaps this is just me and my
Okay.
own personal
'Cause I kind of if I think
subjectivity.
about it, I kind of have them as almost the same thing. So I
No, because
don't
I know full well in my life I have seen people and been around people who I would say I don't even find you overly attractive, but there's a sexy quality there.
Okay, well, when you put it like that, I kind of get what you mean. I could see that.
Maybe this is just me not using, maybe me being British, not really using the word hot a lot, or
Okay.
that not being a thing.
Part of
Maybe it's
your
that.
regular vocabulary. Um,
Yeah. But I think so that to me has always come across as, and maybe this is because you see it in these, media outlets and what have you. It's always come across as obvious. It can be obvious if somebody's hot, but it cannot be obvious if somebody's sexy. You have to know that person. You have to get a little bit more out of that person
yeah.
before you realize, okay, yeah. But hotness is like, Margot Robbie, for God's
Okay.
sake,
Okay.
who is just so universally accepted as being
Yeah,
good
as the
looking.
beauty
It's
standard.
boring to
Okay,
this point.
yes, I get what you mean because yeah, I mean that's why they call it the sexy rodent because sexy they could have called it the hot kind of rodent thing, but they
I mean,
use
I've
this.
called it the hot rat just because
Yes,
I
you
think hot
have.
rat sounds like a really horrible term.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, they say sexy rodent. And so I definitely think the aura, the interesting, different look, the vibe of a person, the energy they give, maybe an androgynous vibe, maybe in a fashionable vibe, that can all come off as very sexy, as opposed to hot maybe being a descriptor for generically, societally accepted attractiveness.
Yeah, I think that's how I view those words.
Yeah. Okay.
Unfortunately, we don't have a list of current popular female celebrities for me to
I'm sorry.
look at. But no, it's not your fault. It's not your
I'm
fault. It's the
so sorry
world's
we don't have
fault.
any hot ladies for you, Morgan.
It's the world's fault.
I mean, that's just
Oh
what this
dear.
article was about. I mean, and we forgot to bring up one of your favorite rodent men, Barry Keoghan, who you brought up
Is Barry Keoghan a
another
rodent?
I mean, he came up on some of these lists.
I'm
So,
not sure. Barry Keegan's fairly froggish to me,
yeah,
if you
okay,
ask me.
okay.
He's a very round face. Maybe
Yes, but
actually
I mean,
these
just I guess
days
if you throw him into the unconventional feature aspect of this kind of
unconventional,
yes.
sure.
But
And I
people find
suppose,
him very sexy, even with his very
yeah,
unconventional features, and his height
and
as well, people find him very and I think it's like I think he got on a lot of people's radars with The Eternals, and despite people maybe not liking that film, they really enjoyed him having this swagger and confidence in that character and really loved that
sure,
about him. So
he's
and he kind
obviously,
of brings that vibe to when we see him on a red carpet or anywhere else. So,
yeah,
yeah,
and
definitely a good sexy versus hot kind of descriptor.
he's obviously also played many a sensitive character, a sweet,
Yeah,
warm-hearted, lovable scamp kind of character.
yeah.
I'm thinking namely of the Banshees
The
of
G's of
Inisherin,
Sharon, yeah.
who he's just so he's the very definition of what you said before. He's not perfect. Let's change and help him,
Let's help
kind
him.
of
Let's fix him up. Let's dust him
idea.
off and fix him
You
up and
know,
clean him up kind of thing. Yeah.
he's so very much that energy in that particular movie. And I suppose these days, though, when I look at Barry Keoghan, he seems, I don't know, he seems to have really defined his body out.
Yeah. Mhm.
He doesn't, he's not got any podge anymore, as I would call it,
Yeah.
which I think maybe takes a personality aspect and makes him a bit boring, if you ask me. But bring back the podge, Barry. The podge makes you you. We liked the
Okay, okay.
podge.
Well, I think people are liking this leaner, kind of more
Sure they
built,
are, because they like rats. They don't
buff.
like frogs. People
They
need to be
like
attracted to
they
frogs.
like buff
What?
rats. So
It'll be the princess and the rat next. It won't be the princess and the frog anymore. Nobody likes
oh my
frogs.
gosh.
No, no, no. People like rats now.
Yes, sexy rats.
But yeah, it's a very
Interesting.
interesting
Yeah. I mean,
discussion.
generally, just to kind of close out, do you find this terminology insulting to these men?
I mean, if I was called a rodent man
A
at the
sexy
moment,
rodent man?
sexy I mean, that's the word there. If somebody comes up to me randomly in the street and goes, you're a sexy rodent man, I'm going, well, thank you. I don't know what to say. I'd become like that, how I get.
Yes.
Um, but no, I don't find it insulting. And maybe this is because I've had somewhere in the back of my mind for years this idea that everybody either looks like a rat or a frog. Um, that it doesn't mean you're not attractive. It doesn't mean, you know, anything. It just happens to mean your features might be pointier or angular, and your features might be rounded. That's
Yeah.
kind of all it means
Yes.
generally.
Yeah.
Um, but predominantly, I think we're in agreement here. Whether it's men, whether it's women, whether it's anything in between, it is an energy that is the most important to make somebody hot and or sexy.
Yes. Agreed.
Therefore, your number one hot rodent is who?
From that list,
Well, I mean, anybody.
anybody?
Anybody.
Anybody.
No,
I
it doesn't have to
mean,
be a hot rodent.
just who's number 1 on my list of attractive people
Yes.
right now?
But like now people.
Now people and
Yeah.
anybody.
Anybody.
I mean,
Aside from, I'm talking celebrities, nobody in
yes.
our personal
Yes.
lives or anything like that. That would be a far too obvious and boring answer.
I mean, Jeremy Allen White is up there.
Jeremy Allen White.
I'm
Wow.
also I mean, Aaron Taylor Johnson, like,
Oh, okay. Aaron
it's a
Taylor Johnson. Yeah, I suppose Aaron Taylor
yes.
Johnson is a little bit this as well, isn't he?
Friend of the show, Tina, sent me, a news report that him and Theo James are doing a movie together, and somebody did this, like, edit of, like, the
Ah,
announcement and then all of these, like, hot little videos of them, and I'm just I don't know if I can handle that. It's a lot. It's a lot. So, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna stick with my choice of who I find that even in fact is she even a today, but she's not one of these Gen Z people, I can tell you that right
Okay, who
off
is
the
it?
bat. It's been Tessa Thompson for years.
Okay, okay. Not a bad
It
pick.
really has. Maybe that's a certain androgyny as well, because Tessa Thompson in a suit.
Oh my gosh. And then there
Tessa
was this
Thompson
whole
in a
time
suit.
when she was kinda running around with Janelle Monáe. There were a lot of
A
pictures of them.
Janelle Monáe as well. That's a
Yes,
good
there were a lot of
shout.
pictures of them, like, really, like, cuddled up and kissy and stuff, and I was like, "This is really hot." And then her with Rita Ora and, Taika Waititi, that picture of them
Yeah,
doing whatever they were I was
yeah,
like, Okay, okay, very fluid.
yeah. That
Fluid
was
lady, we
that.
love
That
to
was.
see it."
I was less interested in that, namely because of Rita Ora, really,
Okay,
who is perfectly good looking, as we say before, but
yeah, just
I
not
need the energy, and
yes.
Tessa gives the energy. Janelle Monáe does give the
Oh
energy
my gosh,
actually as
yes,
well. I've
most
just
definitely.
thank you for reminding me there.
Yes.
That's a great shout. I might change my answer.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay.
Janine,
Yes.
is it fun and
Well,
games
happy
time?
Pride.
Happy Pride, everyone. Yes, of course. We should be saying that. We should have said that all month. Have we said it before? I don't remember. Yes. It's fun and games time. The steaminess does not
Woo.
let up, Janine, in our
No, it
fun
does
and
not.
games. I have, thankfully, I now get to talk about very attractive women. because I have a game for you. Now, what game do you have for me, actually? We have to get
I
this out of the way
have
before you obviously go first, because this
okay.
is what happened.
Yes. So, People does their sexiest man alive. So I have 5 questions for you based around their list over the years.
Yeah, okay, very
So a
nice.
little
Okay.
guessing game based off the sexiest man alive, People magazine.
Well, I have a guessing game in a slightly different way for you.
Okay.
This is the most beautiful American actresses of all time, as voted for by Vogue France. So this
Oh,
is what Vogue France thinks
of
American
American.
of
Oh.
American actresses of all time, and I would like you to guess the top 10. I will
Oh
give you clues
gosh.
as and when you need it. I just want you
Okay.
to straight guess it. I
How
will give you
recent is
the
this?
first clue, which will help significantly, I think. They are all old Hollywood.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe, I believe, is Marilyn Monroe is their number 8.
Oh, okay. Rita Hayworth.
Rita Hayworth is their number 5.
Oh. Lauren Bacall.
Lauren Bacall does not make the top 10.
Really? Ooh, she's gorgeous. Um,
She is, yes. And the energy, the eyes.
everything. Grace Kelly.
Grace Kelly just misses out on the top 10
Oh,
at number 11 on this
okay.
list.
Ooh. Who else? um, Natalie Wood.
Natalie Wood is not there. No, Natalie Wood.
Betty Davis.
No, Betty Davis in the top 10. We do have a counterpart to Betty Davis there, though.
Joan Crawford.
Joan Crawford is
Really?
there. Joan
Wow.
Crawford is their number 6.
Oh, okay. Veronica Lake.
Veronica Lake is their number 7, yes. Very
Wow. Okay.
nice. We must remember Joan Crawford in the 30s and not Joan Crawford
Yes.
in later life. Or
Oh,
later movie career, by the way. Because Joan Crawford in the 30s is very much a sex symbol
yes.
movie star. She is.
Hmm.
Yes, we are looking for number 10, number 9, number 4, number 3, number 2, and number 1.
Oh my gosh.
It's quite
Ooh.
I think it's quite an unusual,
I
but
mean,
somewhat understandable 1, 2, 3.
Marlena
4
D. Well, no, Marlena Dietrich is an American. Um,
no Dietrich
yeah, no, no.
being German.
Yes. Yes.
Austrian? Why don't I know where Dietrich's from? She's got to be German. Austrian. German,
Um,
Austrian. Austrian, German.
oh, what's her
So,
name? What's her name?
I can give you clues if you
Okay,
if you'd like.
yes. Clues,
I'm,
clues,
I'm, I'm-
please.
clues. Okay, clues.
Yes.
Um, inventor.
Oh, we have internet because of her.
We have Wi-Fi because of her. We have
Yes.
Bluetooth because of her.
What is her name? What is it?
Uh,
Why am I blanking?
she was in a movie we covered on the
Yes.
main show called
Yes.
The Strange Woman with
And
George Sanders.
yes. Yes.
She was the lead of the movie.
Yes.
She is incredibly good
Incredibly
looking.
gorgeous. Yes. And I can't remember her name. I just don't remember her name.
Okay, Hedy Lamarr, Hedy
Hedy
Lamarr
Lamarr,
was their
yes.
number 3.
Okay.
Number 3. Number 4 is behind me.
Katharine Hepburn,
Katharine
darling!
Hepburn's got herself on number
Well,
4.
I wanted to guess
Speaking
her,
of
but
the
I didn't know.
androgynous,
Yes.
the
So
androgynous angle.
so I didn't know if, like, this would they would consider her sexy because she's, more bold and
Jeannine.
pants, and I think she's sexy, but, you know.
These are the French people, Jeannine. The French
Yes.
love this
Yeah, that
kind of
is true.
stuff. Come
That is
on.
very true. That's very true. Mm,
You were still looking for 10 and number 9 and number 10.
okay, more clues, please.
What we're looking for 10, 9, 2, and 1. Let's go from the bottom to number 10. The only person of colour in this top 10. Again,
Dor
old Hollywood.
Dorothy Dandridge.
Dorothy Dandridge makes the top 10, yes.
Okay.
Love to Get Married at number 9, an awful lot.
Love to get
Had
married.
unique
Lots of
eyes.
husbands. Oh, Elizabeth Taylor.
Elizabeth Taylor's number 9, yes, very nice. Number 2, I don't even know. I mean, I hope you have heard of her. She's Silent Star.
Oh.
Where Bob wore a bob haircut.
Oh.
Very famous for a bob haircut in the 20s. Diary of a Lost Girl, Pandora's Box. German directed movies, but she was an American.
Actress.
Yeah.
Silent film era.
Yeah.
Was she the it girl that everyone the first it
No,
girl?
no,
No, not
we're
her.
not. No, unfortunately not.
Hmm.
Clara Bow was a messy character
Yeah.
in life, really.
No, I don't know.
Louise Brooks.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't have
Louise
guessed.
Brooks. I would recommend you become familiar with Louise
Okay.
Brooks. She's very good.
Okay.
And number 1 is quite an interesting choice. This has, for me, a lot to do with aura, a lot to do with energy. It isn't Mae West, before we
Oh,
say
okay.
anything like
I
that.
was gonna say.
But she died young, platinum blonde.
Jane Mansfield?
Not Jane Mansfield, earlier,
Mm.
30s.
Mm.
It was was one of the foursome in Libeled Lady that we did on the main show.
Yes, yes. I didn't realize she died young. Oh my gosh, why
Did
can't I
die
think
young.
of her
Died
name?
at
I can't think of her name.
26, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Greta Garbo?
No, not
Is that who I'm
Garbo
thinking?
being Swedish is not
Ooh,
American.
sorry. Who am I thinking? I know.
Platinum blonde.
Yes, yes, I can picture
Red
her.
lipstick.
Yes. Am I blanking on her name?
J. Begins with a J. Not Joan, but
Jean Harlow.
Jean Harlow. Very good. Yes, well done. Very good.
Mm,
This is
okay.
who Vogue France
Hey.
considers the
All
most
right. I mean, yes, that list feels
beautiful
very French.
American actress of all time. I appreciate that list immensely and
Yeah, of
had to share
course.
it with the world.
Yes, I like that, and the fact that the top 10 are all classic ladies, I love that.
I also like how you guessed more than one non-American.
I know I did. I'm just like, because my mind was very much like I forgot that part. It was just like old Hollywood. Ooh, who's hot in old Hollywood? Okay, so we know
Oh,
that
very
People
good. Yes.
Magazine did their Sexiest Man Alive for several,
Yes.
every almost every year. So I'm gonna ask
Did
you
they
5
not do it every
questions.
year? I thought they did
No,
do it
they
every
they
year. They
actually
don't?
skip they actually skip like years in between sometimes.
Oh, that's
Okay,
weird.
so who was People Magazine's first ever Sexiest Man Alive?
The year was. Can I get the
Uh,
year?
let me see.
First
Let me
ever.
see. Yes.
It's got to be like 80s, right?
85.
85.
Yes.
85. Who's big in 80? No. If it was 86, I'd be going for somebody, but 85. 85.
The most conventional person of a very specific era that people just thought was hot.
I'm just thinking of weird people now. I can't think of. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't be a. No, that's weird. It wouldn't be Stallone, would it, or somebody
No,
like that?
no.
No.
Very
Would it?
conventional.
Very conventional.
Yes.
80s.
Yes,
American.
1985. Well, sure.
Well, sure.
Yes.
No. Mel Gibson.
Yes, that is correct.
Yes.
People
Great.
think he's Australian as he grew up in Australia, but he was actually born in New York. So,
No, he's fake American. Like
well, it's
you
kind of like
secretly
Nicole
being
Kidman. Like she
Canadian,
was,
it's wrong.
it's like Nicole Kidman. She was born in Hawaii, but she grew up in Australia, so she's
Yeah.
Australian.
It's
Okay.
still like you being Canadian, it's wrong.
Yeah, that's right. I grew up in America. So, how many Bond actors have gotten Sexiest Man
Oh,
Alive?
surely Daniel Craig had it at one point. I'm going straight 2006. That was Daniel Craig. Surely Pierce Brosnan's had it. 3.
Incorrect.
Oh, 4.
Incorrect.
2.
2.
2.
Yes, so you were correct. Pierce Brosnan got it in 2001, and Sean Connery got it in 1989.
That's a stunning year for
No,
Sean
Craig.
Connery to be getting
Right?
anything of that.
Yes, I mean his picture. He had the bald with the hair on the side.
Sean Connery was bald in the early Bond movies. He had to
Yes,
wear
but
a
he had his
wig.
little hairpiece. Yes, yes. All right. So
You're
4.
telling me that Daniel Craig did not win that
No,
award
I was
when
shocked.
Casino Royale came
We
out?
got
That's
some funky. We
absurd
had some funky
behavior.
ones on the list, and no Daniel Craig. I mean, John Legend.
Oh dear. Oh, John Legend.
Yeah.
John Legend kind of creeps me out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and also him and his wife, just very problematic people at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, you know.
Okay. 4 actors have
Oh.
gotten Sexiest Man Alive twice. Name
Oh,
2 of them.
twice.
Yes.
Is it too obvious? I mean, you've got to think obvious in this, haven't you? You've got to think who is stunningly obvious. Cruise and Pitt. It's got to be Cruise and Pitt. Tom
One is
Cruise, Brad
correct.
Pitt.
One is
One
wrong.
is correct. I think Pitt's probably correct, and we don't like talking about Brad Pitt anymore.
Brad Pitt
But I
is
think,
is correct.
yeah. And recent one, reasonably recent one.
They're all fairly had their heyday 90s era, early 2000s.
Ooh.
I think one was fairly recent. So Brad got it in 2000 and 1995. This other person got it in 97 and 2006.
I'm going an out there choice. I'm going Denzel.
No.
No.
He
Denzel's won that,
was.
right?
Yes, 1996. Another one of them got it in 99.
Who got it in 99? Wait a
And
minute,
93.
I'm confused now.
So there's 3 other ones that you can guess from.
That's right.
So one of them was 99 and 93. Another one was 97 and 2000. And the last one was 2003. And think later in the 2000s.
Right. Okay. A white man.
2003 and 2009. Yes, they are all white men.
They are all white with an H, men.
White with an H, yes.
And one of them isn't
One could
Cruz.
pass for one tried to pass for something in a movie, did not go over well.
Dear.
One is maybe
Of
seen as
course.
slightly problematic to this day.
Oh God, who are these people? And that one's not Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
So there's Brad Pitt as well as
One is
another
fairly
problematic
problematic,
person,
but pretty
and
loved.
not Mel Gibson.
No.
Fairly problematic but pretty loved.
No.
Not Cruz.
Not problematic. And
Not
loved.
problematic.
Yes.
Somebody, but one of them is problematic.
Yes.
I'm very confused.
There's a debate on if there are sides to this person. Some people believe they're problematic and others do not.
There
was a big trial that made people sit on sides with this person.
Oh, it's Johnny Depp.
Yes.
Well, that makes sense, actually. Why? Yeah, I understand. Right. Okay. Who were the other two?
Richard Gere.
Gere.
And George Clooney.
Oh, Clooney. I should be getting Clooney right like that.
Yes.
That's terrible knowledge.
Yes. Okay. So in 2020, 2021, and 2022, there were 3 MCU actors that got Sexiest Man Alive. Can you name all 3? You don't have to guess the year they got it, just
surely got to be the big 3. Surely Chris Evans is in there. Has to be. Surely Hemsworth's in there. Has to be. No?
No.
You're telling me Hemsworth not in there?
He was in there, but he wasn't in the row of these 3.
Oh, he wasn't in the row. So Downey?
No.
No. Hiddleston?
No.
This is Paul Rudd.
Yes. And the third one isn't a main.
Isn't a main.
No.
But he's been in there.
He was a villain.
He was a villain. God.
Played
MCU
the same
villain.
character as Chris Evans.
Played the same character as Chris. What?
Yes. In another film, him and Chris Evans have played the same character.
Right. That's very
in
confusing.
media.
Oh no, that's not very confusing at all. It's Michael B. Jordan.
There you go.
Yeah.
I believe he was 2020, Paul Rudd was 2021, and Chris Evans was 2022. Last question.
Nice.
Who was the only actor to appear on the Sexiest Man Alive list with his wife?
With his wife?
Yes, they were both named together.
As Sexiest Man?
Well, Sexiest People Alive, I guess.
Oh, Sexiest People Alive.
As his wife was a sex symbol of the era.
I see. Ridiculously notable couple then, we're talking.
Yes, of the time. They are no longer together, but of the time.
Well, that's a surprise. One of them isn't Brad Pitt. One of them is Brad Pitt.
No, one of them isn't Brad Pitt. I'm agreeing with you, yes.
Brad Pitt.
We've mentioned them already. They were a guest for another question.
Cruz?
No.
Cruz and Kidman?
No. The year is 1993.
We have to remember, I'm -4 in 1993, and while that's not an excuse, because I obviously know who these people are.
You should know these things.
I'm not
as a pop
looking at
person.
People magazine.
Fair point.
I should.
Okay.
Massive married couples of the early 90s. I mean, it could be anybody.
We already named them. This
We
was their
already that doesn't
okay,
help me. I've
alright, well, I
forgotten
will
who I've
narrow it
named.
down. This will answer the question for you. It was
Oh,
one of the people who got it twice. This was their
who
twice.
I've now forgotten who they were. Richard Gere?
Yes.
And Richard Gere was married to who?
Supermodel Cindy Crawford.
Supermodel Cindy Crawford. Right, well, that makes sense. I had genuinely no idea they were married. Hadn't got very aware of who they both are. No
Yes.
idea they were ever married. Fair
Yes.
enough. I don't mind that. That's a good question. Well done. Very nice. Sexy people.
Yay.
Richard Gere, I suppose, for a time was
Yeah.
very high up
Mhm.
there, wasn't he?
He
For a
was.
lot of people. Well, there we go for another episode of Monday Madness. It's been a fun one
Yes.
today. All about the hotness, all about the sexiness, all about the rats. Rats everywhere, infested, going.
Sexy rats.
Put your-
Don't run. They're sexy.
Put your renter kill down and your rat poison and your little traps in the corner
Sticky
of
traps.
the room.
And catch you a man. A rat man.
Catch the rat man with the rat traps. Make sure they're humane rat traps. You don't want to kill your rat man immediately. You want to just capture your rat man
Yes.
so you can keep
You
them
can fix
and
him.
mold them in your own image.
Exactly.
Because
I love how we
you're a
circled that back.
particular person. Terrible, dangerous people. We should be watching out for these kind of mentalities in the world. It's horrible.
Yes.
Oh, what a good fun time we've had today on Monday Madness. If you are watching, of course, this week, subscribe, ding the notification bell on the It's a Wonderful Podcast YouTube channel. If you are just listening, subscribe wherever you are on all major podcast platforms, of course, for this show to start off the week right every Monday. Morgan Hasn't Seen every Wednesday, where we are on our Black Female Lead series, of course. Very exciting times over there. And on the main show every Friday, celebrating old movies, discovering new ones. It is Spaghetti Westerns June. We're excited about that as well. If you want to join us on Patreon or donate in any way, there are links in the description of this episode to go and do that. And anything else I have to say, it's been scrolling down at the bottom of the screen if you are watching, of course. Social media. You can find us on the app formerly known as Twitter. At It's a Wonderful One. I am there at the Purple Dawn with a 3 instead of the E and the because, Jeannine.
3 is a magic number.
On Instagram, TikTok, Threads at the Purple Dawn. All your rat loving is where.
You can find me at Jeannine Devine _ on Twitter, Jeannine Devine on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. If you want to get any merch for any of our shows, just check the description for the link or search It's Wonderful Podcast on teespring.com. And if you want to purchase any of my art in print form, you can find that at my Big Cartel shop, g9design.bigcartel.com.
But there we go. That's going to do it, Jeannine. I either want you to sing Michael Jackson's Ben or do your best rat impression, please. Bye.